This story I'm about to tell you will seem far-fetched to the listener, but you must know that there are a lot of things beyond our understanding. And yet, they exist. This story is about a young and reckless man called Dayo. You see, Dayo had a problem, a troubled past, but we will not discuss that now. Let us talk about how he encountered a mysterious lady that will change his life. Earlier that day, Dayo had been fired from work for sexually harassing his colleague. Dayo, like most people who got fired from work, went straight to a beer parlor. He did not go home. He downed a few bottles to clear his mind. He drank and drank, so much so that when everyone had left the bar, he refused to leave until he was forced out of the establishment. Visibly drunk, Dayo staggered his way home through the lonely street. And his journey home would have been easier had he not haggled price with the only bike man he had seen, and in fact, almost violent towards him. As he continued to walk home in his drunk state, a stray dog began to bark in front of him. To a sober person, this would signal a feeling of terror, but Dayo was drunk. He was unbothered by the dog and continued to walk. Soon, a beautiful lady, dressed in a red gown, appeared in the darkness almost magically. A beautiful lady appears in the darkness. She is dressed in red. Her skin glowed under the moonlight. Smitten by the beauty of this woman, Dayo hurried his steps and walked towards her. He grabbed her hands forcefully. This brought a great shock to the lady, and it could be seen in her eyes. "How much will it cost for me to take you home tonight?" Dayo said. The lady was appalled and too stunned to speak. There was shock in her eyes, as though not expecting to be seen. "Strange man, if I were you, I would not be here this late, much less touch a total stranger," she told him, and walked away. Still in his drunken state, Dayo began to hurl insults at her. He called her a cheap prostitute and one who would grow old, sad, and undesired. When he was done, he continued his tedious walk home. He arrived home still very drunk because he fumbled with the house keys several times. When he finally got it right, he opened the door and went straight inside. Once inside the room, what he saw would change the course of his life. He would never be the same again, because when he switched on the lights in the dark room, the whole neighborhood heard his scream. What he saw was the same girl he had seen walking down the road on his way home. The same girl he had called a worthless prostitute. But this time, the girl wasn't beautiful. She was hideous, a monster. He saw that she was indeed not from this world. She was a creature of the evil night. And had he not approached or grabbed her, she would not have had his time. She would have left him in peace. Tonight, Dayo must have imagined his end, and if he was spared tonight, he would become a better person. However, we may not know what had happened to Dayo afterwards.